All right, let's cut the crap. We've torn apart the entire personal branding playbook, and the one thing you absolutely need to know is this. Pretty much everything you've been told is a distraction. The real secrets, they're simpler and a hell of a lot more brutal.
Wait, hold on a second. So you're telling me that all my failures, the 7 businesses that completely tanked, the debts, all that garbage, that's somehow a good thing? That sounds like a total scam.
You got it. And it's not a scam, it's a filter. Look, forget your niche. Seriously. Forget your bio, your banner, all that surface-level crap. It is all just noise. The entire game, the only metric that actually matters is trust. You know why? Because money is just a measurement of trust. Everything else is bullshit.
So let's break down the trust matrix. Pillar number 1 is growth. This is the simplest and, the hardest part of the whole damn thing. Just getting people to stop scrolling and actually pay attention to you in the first place.
And this, right here, is where 99% of people just crash and burn. Why does it feel like most creators are just screaming into an empty room? It's simple, really. They have no idea how to frame their ideas in a way that actually performs. They think their genius is enough on its own. Well, it's not.
So here's the fucking truth. This idea of being original, it's a landmine. You sit there in your little vacuum, you cook up what you think is a masterpiece, and nobody gives a shit. The genius fix? Stop trying to be an artist and start being a spy. You need to decode what's already winning out there, reverse engineer the very structure of content that's already blowing up.
And here's how you do it. This is basically a heist. You find creators you admire, you hunt for their home run posts, the ones that got double the engagement, and you break down the psychology, what made it tick. Then you take that winning structure and you pour your own ideas into it. You're not stealing their words, you're stealing the architecture. Okay, but how is that not just copying other people's shit? You're basically just telling people to go out and be thieves. No, you're not stealing their words, you are stealing their architecture. It's like stealing the blueprint for a skyscraper, not the damn furniture inside. 2 different people can use the exact same sentence structure to say completely different things. One gets ignored, the other goes viral. This is about making sure your unique, brilliant ideas don't die a lonely death just because you package them poorly.
Okay, so let's move on, because growth by itself is totally empty. Let's talk about the next pillar, authenticity. Your ideas are worthless if no one trusts the person who's saying them. People don't follow ideas, they follow people.
And here's the paradox that just kills most brands before they even have a chance. Trying to be likable makes you completely, utterly forgettable. I mean, think about it. If you're liked by everyone, you're not really liked by anyone. You're just beige noise. So, the landmine here is being a people-pleasing robot. Hiding your story, sanding down all your interesting edges so you don't offend anybody. The golden nugget? Weaponize your story. And yeah, weaponize your failures. You have to polarize people. Your goal isn't to attract everyone. It's to attract your tribe and violently push away everyone else. That's how you build a real following.
This is how you build that unbreakable connection. You earn what's called time under attention with longer content. You polarize with what you actually stand for. But the absolute key, the non-negotiable part is this: your unique story, your failures, your weird path. That is your moat. Nobody on this planet can compete with it. Come on, this weaponizer story stuff, that sounds like some Tony Robbins bullshit. Give me a real-world example. What about some poor guy who's stuck in a boring-ass corporate job? What's his weapon? Dan Coe, the guy we actually dissected for this whole thing. He's always talking about his 7 failed businesses, about being $8,000 in debt as a broke college kid. That's not a weakness, man. That's a filter. It repels anyone who's looking for some polished guru, and it attracts everyone who's ever been down in the trenches and failed. His failure is his weapon.
And that brings us to the final pillar, authority. Because you can get all the attention in the world, you can be authentic as hell, but if your ideas land like a boring textbook, you've already lost.
Yeah, and this is the trap, right? Most people think authority means you have to teach, but people on social media are not sitting in a classroom. They're scrolling on the toilet. If you present yourself as a teacher, it is a guaranteed way to make them fall asleep.
So stop being a teacher who just lists off boring facts. That's a landmine. You have to become a persuader. That is the genius fix. You stop talking about the how, and you start talking about the pain and the desire. You frame everything around what people desperately want or what they're absolutely terrified of.
And here's the playbook. It is dead simple. Stop talking about features, start screaming about outcomes. Frame everything you say with if you want X to tap into their desire, or if you hate Y to poke at their pain. So instead of saying, Here's how to build a personal brand. You say, if you hate the thought of building someone else's dream for the rest of your life, then listen up. You see the difference? One is a lecture, the other is a lifeline.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's talk about cash. It's time to stop thinking and start making your first fucking dollar.
And here is the only rule you need to remember. Your very first product should take you 7 days. Maximum. If it takes you any longer than that, you're overthinking it. You're just building a monument to your own ego, not a product that actually helps a customer. Oh God, this one hits home. I spent like 6 months building this perfect digital course. I polished every single video, designed this 100-page workbook, I launched it, and crickets. Fucking crickets. I wanted to die. I wasted half a year because I was trying to build my masterpiece instead of just solving one tiny problem.
Exactly. So just kill your ego. Ship one of these things instead. A 30-minute training on one single impactful thing. Turn an old asset into a template. This guy John Hugh from Stan made thousands just selling his old resume template for $10. Or just take a popular social post and expand it into a short guide. Price it at $10. The goal isn't to get rich, it's to get validation. It's to prove someone will actually pay you for what's in your head.
All right, let's wrap this up. No more theory. This is it. This is the only checklist you will ever need, so burn this into your brain.
This is it. This is the whole game. First, you decode the formulas that are already winning out there. Stop guessing. Second, you stop hiding the most interesting thing about you, your story and your failures. That's your weapon. And finally, you start persuading by talking about the outcomes people are dying for, not the boring instructions. That is how you build trust. That's how you win.
We've laid out the entire map for you. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. Get to work.